I'm still making little minor updates to the studio, so if you know this little corner of my studio, it is the relax and chill area. I was getting a little nostalgic of the Nobody Beats the Wiz and Sam Goody days where you'd go over there and they have a wall of headphones and you could sample and listen to some music there. So that's kind of what I have set up here in this corner for myself. I've got these headphones up here. They're the TMA2 headphones from AI, and I've got this iPad mini. So I just recently got an iPad Pro, so my old iPad mini is now going to be here at the studio, and I could just, unplug but plug in the headphones and listen to some music and chill out here on my chair in this little listening station here. So this past week, it was very difficult for me to publish a video seeing what was going on out there. And I know I acknowledged it in the past video, but I also kind of wanted to think about what I could do on a personal level that's outside of just donating money, donating designs, something I can do on a personal level with people that might be affected by everything that's going on. So I wanted to make an open call. I'd be willing to do free mentoring if you know of any African American digital designers, whether graphic design, product design, or anything like that. I would be happy to do some free weekly sessions with you to help guide you in whatever design projects you're working on, whether you work for a company or you're working on your own for clients, and also with career advice if you just need some insights or some perspective on some of the things that you're working on or what path you're trying to pay for yourself. I want to make myself available to you. So let me know if you are out there and you are an African American designer and you're looking for a mentor. I'd be happy to chat with you. So just feel free to leave a comment or message me on DM or send me an email, and I will definitely chat with you and we'll be in touch. Nothing too interesting happening today, just getting a lot of work done here. But I was trying to catch some of the birds that are flying by my window. Every now and then a few birds will fly pretty close, and I've always wanted to catch them using my long lens here, but anytime I tried to get out there and catch any of them, when I saw them fly by, they'd all start hiding from me once I got the long lens on. So no bird footage for you today, but I promise I will try to eventually get some cool bird shots from here at some point in the future. So when I was filming this scene, my camera had actually fallen from the top of there all the way down 8 feet, and I kind of broke the little filter area of the lens. I actually had my variable ND filter on, and luckily the glass didn't shatter, but this piece around there had broken, so I had to tape it up, bandage it up, because it was looking not so great. And I'll post some pictures of what that looked like, but it wasn't pretty. So I wanted to quickly spend today explaining a little bit of backstory behind my tattoo, if you've ever seen it, on my right forearm. Now, this isn't necessarily the easiest thing to explain when people ask me about it, like dinner parties or at small gatherings and things like that. I think it kind of would be best explained through a video and with some visuals. So I'm going to be talking about it in 4 different parts. The first part will be just talking about the artist and the style. How did I settle on that? The next part will be talking about the mountains and why mountains. And then the third part will be talking about the juxtaposition between the real mountains and the geometric mountains, which you'll see in my tattoo. And then the last part will be discussing the reflection of it and how intentional it was. When I first started thinking about getting a tattoo, it was when I was in high school. A lot of my friends got their tattoos around that time. And when I thought about getting a tattoo, I always wanted it to be something that I really liked and something that was really meaningful to me. And being kind of a designer at heart, I was also very conscious of what I wanted it to look like. So when I did my little research on tattoo artists, just Googling and looking at various sites, I found this artist and his name was Okan Ukan, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he's a tattoo artist that was based in Istanbul, Turkey. And I began following him because his style was always this mixture of geometric shapes and realistic type of illustrations. And when I thought about what I wanted in a tattoo, I kind of wanted this mix of geometric and real, just because I had this mathematical background, and mathematics often is visually represented in geometric shapes. So I always kind of wanted this bridge of a real and a geometric type of shape in a tattoo. And when I stumbled upon Okan's work, I was like, this is exactly the type of style that I want in a tattoo for myself. But the issue was that he was based in Istanbul, Turkey, and I actually got to a point where I was like, you know what, I want to plan a trip to Istanbul, Turkey to just get a tattoo from him like this. But as you know, fate would have it that I started following him on Instagram, and he made a post saying that he was going to be moving to New York City to be doing tattoos there. And when I first saw that, I immediately looked up his email and sent him a message about the idea for a tattoo that I wanted. So that's kind of how I stumbled upon Okan, and how it came about that I was able to get a tattoo from him. If you know me, you know that I'm an avid skier. I love skiing. I love the mountains. So it's always been kind of a practice for myself if I've ever gone through some highly stressful times. A way to calm myself is to close my eyes and think about being in the middle of the mountains. So mountains is kind of a really calming and happy place for me. So I always wanted to have something that anytime I'd look at it, it would be instantly this calming type of image. This one is a little bit more complicated to explain, but if you're familiar with Pablo Picasso, he has a painting out there that is called The Bulls. And it's several illustrations of a bull, where it first starts off as a fully detailed, realistic-looking bull, and through a series of illustrations, it gradually simplifies until it's kind of a line drawing that still resembles the shape of a bull, but it kind of stripped away all the detail, and it's just the basic structure of a bull. Now, this is kind of the idea behind the geometric versus the realistic mountains that are in my tattoo. So the geometric side of the mountains are just a representation, a simplified representation of the realistic mountains that sit on the other side of the tattoo. That was done on purpose, and that's kind of sentiment that I have, that you know, you as yourself, you kind of know internally who you truly are, between all of your inner emotions, your feelings, your thoughts, stuff that you don't always vocalize or put out there. It's only you who knows the true picture of yourself. Now, what you kind of put out there in the world is just kind of an abstraction, kind of a simplification of the entirety of who you are. So that's what other people see. Other people kind of see the shape and the basic image of who you are, but you know, they'll never really know the full finer details about who you are. It's only you yourself who will know that. Now, the positioning and the reflection itself was very intentionally done. And the reason for this is kind of going along that same thread of how other people see you versus how you see yourself. The way the reflection is constructed is whenever I look down at my tattoo, the right side up version of what I'm seeing is the realistic mountains. And when other people look at me, if I were to have my arms crossed, for example, when they look at me and they see my tattoo, what they see as the right side up version of it is the geometric side of the tattoo, and then the realistic mountain is more of a reflection. So that's kind of done on purpose, and it's kind of talking about that same thing, is that, I will always know what the real fully detailed image is, particularly of myself, whereas, what other people see. The outward facing part is more of a simplification of that total fully detailed image. So that's kind of the full explanation of my tattoo, at least all of the aspects that I have fully thought out about it. And the way I kind of went about this was I kind of gave a broad idea of what I wanted in a tattoo to Okan, and he kind of took that and did several different variations of it in kind of his own thinking and his own image and his own art, and he came back to me with some versions. So this is actually a printed out version of my tattoo that I looked at and chose before it actually went onto my arm, and it has the full design here that is on my arm. So that's a story behind my tattoo.